This morning, I usually do my grocery shopping on Sundays. So this morning, this will be week 2 of me training the girls, but I feel like we get so many questions about nutrition and everybody complicates the fuck out of it. It is not complicated. So I'm gonna break it down, I'm gonna dumbify it for Camille and Margie. And it's not hard, but everybody always stresses out about nutrition, and it's very simple, and it's not expensive either to eat clean. So we're gonna go to the grocery store, we're gonna try not to cause a scene, and hopefully we don't get kicked out. And whenever you talk about clean eating, first of all, if anybody's ever telling you that they eat clean all the time, they're lying to you. So fire their ass, all right? I mean, we had birthday cake yesterday. I eat pizza or hamburgers, which are my 2 top favorite things, at least once a week. And I love chocolate. So there's a way I've noticed with all the clients that I've trained that the moment that you make a food off limits, it's the moment that you start to crave it. And so what I like to do is say there is never a food that's off limits, but it's important that you know your trigger foods. What is it that once you start eating it, you cannot stop? For me, I have a really big issue with trail mix. Like, I cannot get trail mix, and it's the kind with like little pieces of chocolate in it. It's just so good. I mean, you talk about like, I have done some scary things to trail mix. And I know with Camille, who is holding the camera for me today, hers is probably, I mean, chips and salsa isn't bad.
I would say chips and, okay, honestly, when I'm like alone.
Oh gosh, we don't want to know.
No, like sugary cereals.
Oh yeah.
I will like eat.
I love it.
And if I'm bored, just like bowl after bowl.
And it's so easy to eat.
Yeah. And then it's just like a little more milk, a little more cereal, and then it's like 5 bowls in. I mean, I don't know if I've ever done 5, but
yeah. I have. But the thing is like, I mean, I love cereal too. And what I like to do, and like a really good exercise is, and maybe this is, you guys have kind of realized this after the first of the year, if you go cold turkey, I mean, it works for some people, it does not work for a lot of people. But let's say your thing like Cam, whenever she's alone, like maybe she'll do good all day, and then at night she's like, I gotta have my Lucky Charms. And what happens is that can create like a binge effect, okay? Especially if the foods are off limits. So what you do is you give yourselves, like, maybe you don't cut out every single day saying no cereal ever for the rest of my life. I'm just not gonna do it, because that's not gonna happen. 2 weeks, a month is gonna go in and you're gonna be like, you know, in the corner crying, you know, tears falling in your cereal bowl because you just can't stop when you're eating Lucky Charms uncontrollably. But give yourself, like, say, okay, Wednesday I'm gonna have a bowl of cereal. Saturday I'm gonna have a bowl of cereal, and it gives you almost something that you can look forward to. But whenever you make changes that are so drastic, it's really hard, because you have to think like every change that you make, like you have to make it a lifestyle. I cannot fucking stand these diets that are like the cookie diet, or I remember one time whenever I was in high school, I tried the vegetable soup diet, and I'm not kidding, it was literally like cabbage, carrots, and chicken broth. Yeah. And you ate that for a whole week, and it was like you could lose like 10 or 15 pounds or 20 pounds. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's good. First of all, if you can even last that long. But secondly, like, what's gonna happen the moment that you stop those habits? You're gonna go back to your old habits, and you're gonna gain, if not even more, 90% of the time, you're gonna gain all the weight that you put back on. So don't do fad diets.
To Kroger we go.
To the window.
To the wall.
Oh,
We're like way off different parts.
What's the window?
Look at you in your boots today. Oh. Very responsible. And you wonder why you lose things, but I am fine. I don't know what I'm getting.
That's why you're here.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Straight to the fresh section.
Okay, so rule number 1.
Are you guys doing okay?
Yeah, thank you. Already, it's happening. Rule number 1, when you go into the grocery store, if you stay on the outer side, you're gonna stay less away from the processed foods and you're gonna get more of the fresh foods. So, we got 10 steps inside the grocery store. And the guy goes, "Excuse me, who are you with?"
What group are you
He
with?
goes, "What group are you with? Why are you filming?" And I was like, "We're not with a group. Should we be with a group?" And he was like, "No." He was like, "Why are you guys filming?" And Camille was like, "Oh, I'm going through a transformation." And she's helping me. And he looked at her like this. He goes, "Are you really?"
And then I said, yes, I'm trying to learn. She's teaching me how to eat healthy. And he's like,
And he laughed and he said, "I can give you the number to our corporate office."
like, are
And I
you
was like,
serious?
"Bro, look at you. You need
I
to
know.
transform." If you noticed in the back of my car, this is actually very clean. But you know what? I have flippers. Because you never
Just
know.
one.
Just one. You never know, and I have no idea what this is. Is this yours?
No.
But like, yeah, I don't know.
That's nice.
But no, we have lots of eggs. Look, we'll just do this right now. We have eggs. We got chicken, asparagus. So what I recommend is I like to get just a mixture of veggies, and you can just put a little bit of coconut oil over the top and then bake them. And I like to do a meal prep on Sunday, and then again I like to do it halfway through the week because it's preference. I mean, if you guys want to meal prep for the entire week, I personally don't like to do that. But I make a big thing of quinoa or rice or grain. Love sweet potatoes. You can bake those. You can chop them up as like breakfast potatoes. We got some fresh fish. I love getting, it was caught fresh, but it's frozen. But it's always good to have these like on hand in your freezer because it never goes bad. So you don't ever have to worry about it. We also got low-fat cottage cheese. This is the Live Active or Live Active, I have no idea. This is 10 grams protein, 3 grams of sugar. Really great, especially I like this for Camille because one, she has issues with packing her food and eating it. So this is really great for her to just pack it, put it in her bag, and to go to work. We got an assortment of, we got strawberries and bananas. Whenever you guys are picking your fruits, I would recommend doing berries because it's a fibrous fruit, meaning that it's gonna digest a lot slower in your system because it's fibrous, okay? I love for my boys, there's so many, like, yogurts are the worst, and it's every time I go to the yogurt aisle, I see somebody standing at the yogurt aisle staring because they can't decide what yogurt to get. I recommend do not get a flavored yogurt. Look for, this is my favorite and I believe it's the most pure, the Fage yogurt. This is even full fat, and I like to particularly get the full fat for my sons. And then to sweeten it, we add our own sweetener. So we don't buy it sweetened. So we like to add our own sweetener for my littlest guy. And this is great also for adults. But it's not the fat that you guys should be concerned with. It's the foods that have hidden sugars inside them that you should be concerned with. Thank you. I know, I'm here. I know, praising you with my presents. Autographs later. What else did we get? We got tomatoes. We got some nuts that are really good for snacking.
Almond flour.
Almond flour. Yeah, I love baking with almond flour. We also got, so one of the things that that I don't particularly like is almond milks. Okay, almond milks are great for you. And in some cases they even have, one of the arguments I hear is like, okay, well if you get almond milk, you're not gonna have any calcium like whole milk. Almond milk actually has more calcium in it than whole milk, or just cow's milk in general. But something that I want you guys to start paying attention to is all the additives that you find in almond milks. And also don't get like vanilla almond milk because they add like 12 grams of sugar. Just get unsweetened almond milk, but also try to get the ones that are that don't have a lot of additives. And that's pretty much a wrap. It didn't really go as planned, and I'll probably do another one, maybe breaking things down just a little bit better for you guys. But some key takeaways is do not stress yourself out. Keep it simple. Think fresh foods from the earth, and you can take basically the same ingredients or the same items on your shopping list and just, you can have them in a different way. So I believe in you.
Thank you.
Believe,
Thank you so much.
I believe in you, Camille.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay,
Right.
now let's go because I'm
Over now.
hungry.
We're gonna go cook. Woo!
Oh,
Was that the end?
probably.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the water. Know how hard I try. Every road I take, every road.
So whenever I was in Haiti, running with one of the boys there, his name is Wadney. He's one of my favorite guys. He'll be graduating from high school soon, but this is his favorite song, and we would just play this on repeat when we would run. I love it.
With the wind and myself and the seas that behind me. And now I know.
I still stand up, but I'll go. So I really think I truly miss my calling, which could have been a performer.
I was just gonna say you sound like Charlie.
Charlie's our umbrella cockatoo. Rude. But I will close with this because I don't want this to be like an overly ridiculous long video. But I just like, food is so crucial. I've said this on social media, but you can never out-train a poor diet. So it doesn't matter how hard you push yourself in the gym. You have to find that balance of eating nutritious foods, but also being able to live and like, you know, our culture is so like, it's every event, it's surrounded by food. And you know, I tell people to have, to become like professional talkers, because if you're at a party and you're like a professional talker, then you're gonna do like the whole time, you're just gonna be talking the whole time instead of going like this.
What if you can do both at the same time?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like, do it in front of somebody you don't like, because then you'll be spitting food in their face. And they'll be like, sorry, I have really bad manners. So, but yeah, I mean, like, I think, like, you know, I did the whole competition thing where I competed. I've competed in almost like every single organization, OCB, NPC, WBFF. I landed my pro cards. And the thing that was so frustrating to me is that I would go into these competitions being in the best shape of my life, and 2 weeks out, or maybe it was like 4 weeks out, I would start to cut, and it got down to where I was eating tilapia and basically asparagus, right? Because asparagus is a natural diuretic. And like, I would come out of these competitions, I would begin to binge eat after the competitions, and I lost all physical strength that I had. And I had a really bad relationship with food. And the moment that, like, food is not the issue. The issue is self-control. And whenever I started thinking of it, like, you know, the last show that I did Worlds in Las Vegas. It was an incredible show. But that's really when I like learned the ultimate lesson, like that I would lose, my background is at athletics, and I would lose everything that I had worked so hard for. And at the end of the day, I wanted to live out, like, you know, beyond just being a model and having like a great figure, I wanted to be able to perform and to be an athlete. And, you know, I knew, like, you know, all these competitors, and it's like they, you know, it's, I wouldn't say that very many of them have a good relationship with food, because regardless of how well you look in the mirror, you're always doubting yourself and you're always wanting to cut your calories even lower. And I mean, even for me, like probably, especially the first round of competitions that I did, I damaged my metabolism so bad. In fact, after the first competition I did, this was several years ago, but after the first competition, I did not understand food. I didn't understand the importance. I didn't understand how important it was to have a good relationship with food. As soon as that competition was over, within 3 days, I probably put on like 15 pounds. It was so ridiculous. So, but it's a beautiful day, and I don't know, how do we sign out? Cam has something inspirational to say, I can tell.
I don't.
What do you think about everything? Cam kind of came into this whole, like, my whole world. She came into my world not even not knowing anything. She originally moved out here to be,
I don't know anything at all. I knew nothing.
No, nothing at all about like about more. You did know, but it wasn't like you didn't know what you were really getting yourself into. Cam moved out to here on the East Coast to be my au pair, and I started seeing, and this is like where I feel like the best, like, I don't know, I just started seeing these strengths that she had. She was supposed to move back to the West Coast in September. I had a true heart-to-heart with her, and I asked her to stay and to basically come on full-time. And she does so much, like she wears so many hats, and from photography, she is my personal assistant. She still helps with the family and taking care of the kids. You talk to all
don't
my.
Talk about me with me here.
You talk about no. You talk with all my sponsors. I remember, in fact, I'm gonna stop driving for a second. I'm just, in case you're wondering, I'm going like 5 miles an hour in the neighborhood. But like, one of her first phone calls, and this was probably after like a couple weeks, it was with NBC, NBC Studios.
But like, okay, you guys don't know me. I'm very shy. I'm soft-spoken. And I just remember her like being on this conference call with like 7 people, NBC, these big shots, and I'm just like, excuse me?
I know.
Like trying to say something.
Cam was like, excuse me? And yeah, I remember I got off the phone and I was like, Cam, I was like, you know, it was a really good call. And then like, we love everybody from NBC now because we have that relationship with them. But I was like, you gotta freaking be aggressive. Be like, no, we are gonna do this, and she needs to fly in this day, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, not like, that sounds a little extreme, like freaking demanding,
just,
but.
I mean, assertive, or just, you know, like I know what I'm talking about. I question myself a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting a little better, but
you're
I mean, because
really
I have to. I was like thrown into it. But,
yeah. But I feel like it's the same thing with like some of the fitness stuff too. It's like she has never like climbed a rope, or it's been like a really long time, and I'll never forget this. You know, she did a workout or something, and I was like, okay, Cam, you're gonna climb the rope, and she's like, what? She's like, I've never climbed a rope before. I was like, that's fine.
I did like when I was 7 gymnastics. But
with Camille, regardless, because she is shy and a lot of this world is like new to her, and like really even understanding nutrition, which I hope I can, you know, she's learning so much every single day, but she's willing to try. And I think that speaks so much volumes about who she is, but also it should be very encouraging for other people who are possibly a little, you know, even a little shy or a little insecure, or like, you know, just try. That's all I'm asking you to do. Try to make better choices. Try to push yourself a little bit harder through your training, and try new exercises. Just try.
Doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
And it could be your favorite thing in the world. You never knew if you didn't try.
Absolutely.
You know? Okay.
Over and out. Peace.